Okay, so we started with the uh, segment registers, code segment, stack segment, data and extra segment registers. We also understood that each register is of each segment is of 64 kilobyte. So out of 1 megabyte location, each segment occupies 64 kilobytes of memory. Okay, code segment, data segment. One example. And last class we also understood that the how the bus interface unit generates 20-bit address using 16-bit address, that is by appending 0 to the base register, there is a segment register, and by adding it to the offset register it will generate a total of 20-bit address. Okay, so larger why the why it has to generate 20-bit addresses, why not only 16-bit address was sufficient, why 20-bit address required is that larger the bit size of the address, more space the processor can access. With that intention, 20-bit address is used. Why not 30-bit? Why not 22-bit? It depends on the processor. Okay, at 886 basics processor standard, 20-bit was the size of the processor address lines. That's how it is. Okay, so instruction pointer, we took this example. Okay, so we understood that how it generates the physical address using the content of a segment register, and by appending 0 and adding it to the offset registers. Okay, for example, for code memory, offset register is instruction pointer. Okay, so we discussed this. Hmm. Okay, so next we have to, okay, these are the no I think there is some message, I don't know from where it is. I think okay, anyway, not in the, okay, not in the Zoom app. Okay, fine. Okay, okay, so that's about the architecture. So let me look into the other PPT also. Both are good, of course, both has all the details, but presentation wise, mm, this PPT is better, like they discuss each register in detail. For example, code segment register, instruction pointer is the offset register. Okay, similarly, for data segment register, uh, uh, destination source index register and destination index registers are used as offset registers. They are also called as displacement registers, and they are used to generate the 20-bit physical address or absolute address. Stack segment register, stack pointer is used, and for base addressing mode, along with the stack segment register, base pointer is used. This will discuss now. There is addressing mode. Okay, and as extra segment register, destination index register is used to generate the 20-bit physical address. Okay, along with the data segment register and extra segment register. Okay, so instruction pointer is a 16-bit. It provides offset addressing pointing to the next instruction code within the code segment region or area. It so last class we also saw that its content automatically increments as the execution of the instruction takes place. This is similar to program counter of 805 microcontroller. Okay, so this is more about instruction queue in this slide. Okay, accumulator register. Okay, so accumulator register, 8-bit registers AL and AH. So together it is a 16-bit register. Okay, so it contains lower byte 8-bit and in AL, and upper byte in AH. Okay, higher order byte. So IO instructions use the AX or AL for inputting or outputting 16 or 18-bit data to and from the IO port. Okay, so to send the data out, just like in 8051 we use accumulator as a default register for receiving the data from ports or sending the data through the ports. Processor 8086 processor uses AX register, 16-bit AX register, 8-bit AL register, not AH. AL register for 8-bit data transfer to and from the IO ports. Okay, and also multiplication and division instructions also use the AX or AL. For 8-bit data AL, 16-bit data AH. Okay, so base register consists of two 8-bit registers BL and BH, which can be combined together to use it as a 16-bit register. BL contains lower order byte of the word, and BH has the higher byte. Generally, this is the only general purpose register whose contents can be used for addressing the 8086 memory. Okay, so using this base address register, we can address the memory. General purpose register, basically it is like a just like B register of 8051. Okay, all memory references. Okay, all memory references to the utilizing this register content for addressing use data segment register as the default segment register. Okay, there is um, memory references utilizing this register. Generally, this is used along with the data segment register to access the memory. Okay, counter CX for the counter register consists of two registers CL and CH. Together it is CX 16-bit registers. CL register contains the lower order byte and upper order byte. Instructions such as shift, rotate, and loop use the contents of CX as a counter. Just like in 8051, we use general purpose register as a counter. 8086 processor uses counter register CX as a counter. Okay, here we have one example. The instruction loop start automatically decrements CX by 1 without affecting flags and will check if CX is equal to 0. Okay, this just like we use a DJNZ instruction. What does DJNZ instruction does? It will decrement the content of register by 1. It will take a jump only if the content is not 0. Okay, so similarly we use CX as a, there we use general purpose register as a counter variable. Here we use CX as a counter variable, inbuilt CX variable. Okay, if it is 0, 886 executes the next instruction. Otherwise, 886 branches to the label or wherever we want it to jump to. Okay, so we'll discuss this when we take up instruction in detail. Data register, they consist of 8 bits, DH and DL. Combined together, it is a 16-bit. Used to hold the I 16-bit result in 16 cross 16 multiplication. That is when the result when the during the multiplication operation, when the result is bigger than 16, bigger than 8 bit, then DX register is used. And it is also used in the division operation, 16-bit division operation. Okay, before 32-bit by 16 division, and okay, and the 16-bit remainder after division. Okay, that is, it will hold one of the data during the division operation, and the 16-bit remainder is stored in the DX register. Okay, stack pointer and base pointer. Stack pointer and base pointer are used to access data in the stack segment memory. Stack pointer is used as an offset from the current stack segment register during the execution of instruction that involve the stack segment in the external memory. This stack pointer is similar to stack pointer of 8051. Okay, but the direction of stack memory growth will be in different order. In 8051, it will grow from lower address to higher address, but here it is in the opposite direction. It grows from higher address to lower address. Okay. Stack pointer contents are automatically updated, increment or decremented due to execution of pop and push. Pop and push instructions are similar to 8051. Base pointer any contains an offset address in the current stack segment register or stack segment memory, which is used by the instruction utilizing the based addressing mode. Because what happens in, of course, next we'll discuss addressing mode. There we understand that whenever we have based addressing mode, BP, that is a base pointer register is used. In normal addressing mode, stack pointer is used. How does it change? That we'll discuss now. After this, we'll go to addressing mode. Source index register and destination index register used in the indexed addressing mode, similar to 805 index addressing mode. What is the difference? We'll see. Okay. Instructions that process data strings use the source index register and destination index registers together with data segment register and extra segment register. Okay, SI with data segment register, the resource index register, and DI, that is data segment register, is with the extra segment register in order to distinguish between the source and destination address. Okay, uh, source index and destination index, which is limit pointers is okay. Source index and destination index registers, same thing. This I think this slide is repeated. Okay, anyway. Okay. If this is about the, I think this we discussed, general purpose register. Okay. Yes. Next is the addressing mode and the instruction set. Okay. Okay. So now, to start with, of course, they have started the discussion on um, types of programming. Okay, we'll not go into the details of the programming style. Okay. Yes. Let me take a minute. Let me check with this slide. Addressing mode of 886. Okay. Okay. This okay. Well, let us refer this one. This looks better. Okay. Okay. Yes, there are basically totally there are 12 addressing modes. Okay. In 886 processor, every instruction of program has to operate on a data. So the intention of execution of instruction is to operate on set of data to generate another set of data stored in the memory, which will be stored in the memory. The different ways in which a source operand is denoted in an instructions are known as addressing mode. Okay, there is the way we specify the data. The way we specify, whether we specify it using the address of a location stored in the memory or the data itself in the instruction. Okay, so based on that we can have a various addressing modes. So they are generally classified, yes, they are grouped into addressing modes for registers and immediate data. They are register addressing mode and immediate addressing mode. Okay, immediate addressing mode means data part of the instruction. Register addressing mode means data is available in the register. Group 2 in the second classification, addressing modes for memory data. Yes, see what happens is in the group 1 it is available in the register which is part of the CPU, and immediate addressing mode which is part of the instruction. If it is available in the memory, how do we access the data available in the memory? So for that the addressing modes are direct addressing mode, that is address is part of the instruction. Register indirect addressing mode like pointers. Based addressing mode using the base pointer register. Let's see the examples. Indexed addressing mode using the index registers. Based index addressing mode, and what is known as string addressing. Okay, string addressing is used to store the strings. Okay, set of strings. We'll see examples. Okay, yes. Next group of okay. Okay, fine. So next group of instruction is addressing modes for IO ports. Okay, so there is how do we access the IO ports? IO ports, direct IO port addressing, indirect IO port addressing. Because what happens in 8051 is there is nothing like what you call the IO port addressing nodes. The IO ports are accessed just like any other memory location. Okay, there's not much of a difference in 8051, because 8051 is basically a RISC processor. RISC in the sense limited instruction. We cannot have all these so many addressing modes and so many instructions. Okay, it is very limited, because the ultimate intention is the architecture should be very very simple and straightforward. So, I mean, so that the architecture complexity should be simple. Whereas 886 is a CISC processor. Will have a lot of instructions. Okay, so group 4, relative addressing mode. Of course, relative addressing mode is available in 8051 also. Okay, what is the relative addressing mode? Is jump instructions. Like long jump instruction, short jump instruction. They come under relative addressing mode. Sorry. Okay, so last one is what is known as implied addressing mode. Okay, this is something which we don't have in 8051. We'll discuss. We'll take one by one now. Okay, so we'll take one example now for register addressing mode. Okay, so now register addressing mode instruction will specify the name of the register which holds the data to be operated by the instruction. Okay, example. So we know there are four register guys. There is AX, BX, CX, and DX. Okay, so each of them are 16-bit in size. If you want to move the content of DH to CL, okay, so then we specify the instruction as move CL comma DH. Okay, so in this case what is happening is the content of 8-bit register DH is moved to another 8-bit register CL. Okay, so the source is on the similar to 8051. Source is on the right side, destination is on the left side, similar to 8051. Okay, so the content of source is moved to the destination. Okay, so in this case both the source and destinations are registers. Okay, and both should be of the same size. We cannot move 16 bit to 8 bit. It's not possible. Okay, so this is one simple example. So the content of DH is copied into CL. So it is an example of register addressing mode, where both the source and destinations are registers. In 8051, what is the condition, guys? One of the registers should be accumulator. In this case, it's not necessary. Accumulator is for the general operation, okay, general, the arithmetic and CPU operation. It need not involve itself for the what you call, data transfer. But in 8051, even for data transfer, we use accumulator. You know, that's not necessary here. We need not bother accumulator for simple data transfer operations. Okay. Next is immediate addressing mode. Immediate addressing mode, 8-bit or 16-bit data is specified as part of the instruction. That is, data is part of the instruction. If the source data is source immediate data is 8-bit, destination should be at least 8-bit. If it is 16-bit, the destination should be 16-bit. Example, move DL, 08H. Let's observe here that there is no hash symbol. There is a pound symbol. Okay, it's not necessary here. 08 is the data, so the data is copied into destination DL. Okay, so data 08 is 8-bit in size. H for the hexadecimal number system. 8-bit data 08H given in the instruction is moved to destination DL. Okay, similarly, look at the next example, guys. 16-bit example. 0A9FH is the data. 16-bit data is now copied into AX. AL is not sufficient because AL size is 8-bit. We have to take a 16-bit register, that is AX. So 16-bit data given in the instruction, that is part of the instruction, is now copied into AX register. Okay. So this is for the example for. Okay. So next is sorry. Okay. So this was immediate addressing mode. Okay. Yes. Now memory access. So we saw in the earlier slide that group 1 addressing mode deals with only the registers and the data, register addressing mode and immediate data. Okay, so next group of addressing mode is deals with the memory data. Okay, so let us see how the instructions are dealt in the memory. Okay, now in this case, memory addressing mode, addressing mode involving memory. Okay, yes, what we have to understand basically is that 20 address lines. Okay, because we want to access memory means it is we require 20 address lines. 8086 can address up to 20 address lines. That is total of 1 megabyte of memory. Okay, there is 2.21 megabyte. The largest register is only 16-bit. Okay, so thereby we have to generate a physical address or absolute address whose size is 20-bit. So thereby physical address is generated using actual address of the byte in the memory. That is the value which goes out into the address bus. Okay, there is guys. Let me go back to the architecture quickly, so that we can. Okay. In this slide, it is something like this. Okay, so this what happens is that this execution unit wants to access a location in the memory. Okay, this slide is better, I guess. In this, CPU architecture diagram is really good in this one. Okay, that is, this execution unit wants to access the external memory. Okay, now what happens is this will generate an address. It can generate only 16-bit address. It cannot generate a 20-bit address. Okay, so what does this bus interface unit does is this will bus interface unit takes the 16-bit address, okay, provided by the execution unit, and its offset address using the offset registers. Okay, it will using the both the 16-bit actual address of the data and using the offset address, it will generate 20-bit address by appending 0 to the base address segment registers, and hence it could generate a 20-bit address from which location it can access the data from the memory, transfer it into the instruction queue. From there it will transfer it into execution unit. Okay, so thereby, so what is requirement now is that it has to generate a 20-bit address. So for a 20-bit address, what is the requirement now is first it has to provide a 16-bit address in the segment registers. Along with that, it will use the offset address available in the stored in the offset registers, and hence it will generate a 20-bit address. Okay, so thereby memory address represented in the form of segment registers and offset register. What is the meaning of this representation is segment register is 16-bit, offset register is 16-bit. 0 is appended to the segment register to generate 20-bit address. To this, 16-bit address is added. to generate a 20-bit address. Okay, for example, the segment register content is 89ABH and offset register content is F012H. 0 is appended to this segment register, it becomes 89AB0H. To this F012 is added to generate a 20-bit address. Okay. Each time the processor wants to access the memory, it takes the content of segment register, shifts it one hexadecimal place to the left. Okay. When it shifts to the left, it will append 0, okay, to the right side, and then it becomes a 20-bit address. Same as multiplying by 16. Shift operation is similar to multiplying by 16, hexadecimal 16, so that it generates a 20-bit address. So that it total size of the address now becomes 20-bit. Then it will add the offset address to form 20-bit address. Yes, the same example is discussed here. 89AB available in segment register is shifted left by one location, one position. There is it will append 0. Effective address becomes 89AB0H. To this offset address is added. Offset register content F012 is added to generate a 20-bit address, which is called as absolute address, also called as physical address. Physical address means it is the actual address of data stored in the memory. It's okay. So that's how it will generate a what is known as 20-bit physical address. Okay, this is very important. Okay, so whenever it wants to access the external memory, it has to generate a 20-bit address. Okay, so for that it makes use of separate addressing mode for a what you call external memory access. Okay, so that we'll discuss now. Direct addressing mode. Okay, this now this what is the meaning of direct base in 8051? Direct means address part of the instruction. Similarly, here also in 8086 processor also direct addressing means address part of the instruction. If we know the address, we can directly specify the address. But the address should be 16-bit. See, we cannot specify. See, that is we cannot specify 20-bit address. That is generated by the processor. We can specify the 16-bit address. How do we specify the 16-bit address? Using a square parenthesis, square brackets. Okay. So microprocessor makes use of this convention to identify the address. Address. Okay. Okay. Now, so the effective address of the memory location at which the data is stored is given in the instruction. That is, address is specified as part of the instruction. The effective address is just a 16-bit number written directly in the instruction. That is, address is made directly part of the instruction, but we have to use a square brackets. Okay, so then the processor will identify this as a address. If no brackets, it will become a data. Okay, so that's a convention in 8086 processor. So square brackets around the data denotes the content of memory location, that is address. When executed, this instruction will copy the content of the memory location into BX register. Okay. So this address is copied into BX register. Content of memory location is copied into. Yes, what happens is here we are specifying only the address. What bus interface unit does is it will append 0 to this. It will take the offset address, add to this data, this address, generates 20-bit address. From that location, data is copied into BX register. What is the size of data? Size of data 16-bit, and the size of BX register is 16-bit. Okay. Let's observe the next example is the address is 0400H is the address. But what is the source? What is the destination? BL. What is the size of BL? 8-bit. Okay, so it's copying only the 8-bit. See, the processor identifies the destination register using the name BX or BL. From there, it will make out whether it is a 8-bit or 16-bit register. Accordingly, it will decide the data to be copied from the memory. So either it's a 8-bit or a 16-bit data. This address mode is called as direct because displacement of the operand from the segment base is specified directly in the instruction. Okay, so what should be the displacement? We specify directly in the instruction. Okay, fine. So let us look into the next addressing mode. Register indirect addressing mode. Okay, so in register indirect addressing mode, name of the register which holds the effective address will be specified as part of the instruction. Register used to hold the effective address any of the following registers. That is, the registers which are used for to store the effective address is BX, BP, DI, and SI. That is base base register, base pointer, destination index register, source index register. All of them are 16-bit in size. Okay, there is just like in 8051 for indirect addressing mode. What are the registers used? Is we use only R0 and R1. If you use R2, R3, R4, compiler will generate that. Similarly, for register indirect addressing mode, to store the effective address, we can use only these four registers. We cannot make use of any other registers. So content of data segment register is used for the base address location. That is, starting reference location is loaded in data segment register. Offset address is loaded in these registers. This effective address is loaded in, our offset address is loaded in these registers. What is the bus interface unit does, guys? The content of data segment register is shifted towards left by 1 byte location. Okay, so that it can append 0. So the size of the address becomes 20-bit. To that, it will add the content of DX, BP, DI, or SI depending on the addressing mode to generate the 20-bit address. So from that location, the data is copied into destination. We'll take one example of this. Okay, move CX comma BX. Now the BX is in bracket. That means the content of BX is used as a address, not as a data. Okay, register or memory enclosed in brackets refer to content of register or memory. Okay, so it will refer to the it is used as the content is used as a address. Okay, so the operations are like this. There is effective address the absolute address calculation is like this. The effective address, offset address is loaded in BX register. Okay, so base address is loaded in data segment register. Okay, what it does is, what is the size of data segment register? 16-bit. Now what happens is, this effective address calculation is done by adding the content of base address to the effective address. Okay, now from that location the data is transferred into something. Okay, no problem. Okay, okay, so the data is copied into CX register. Okay, now when okay, so the content of effective address is now loaded into CX register. Please observe this. This address, okay, that is generated by the adding the content of base register and this effective address or offset address. If the content of that location is 16-bit, it will transfer it into CX because the size of CX is 16-bit. For example, let us say that location is only 8-bit data. Then it will copy into CL, not CX, because CL is only 8-bit data. Okay. Now this is lower byte, and the upper byte can be copied into CH register. Because what happens is, sometimes, see, we are dealing with only 8-bit of data, so then we can copy the 8-bit data into lower byte of a CX register, that is CL, or upper byte of a CX register, that is CH. Okay, or if the data is 16-bit, we can directly copy into CX register. Okay, so that's the basic difference between a transfer of data. That is, it can deal with either 8-bit of data or 16-bit of data. But the address size is always 20-bit. Effective physical address is always, that is memory address, MA for memory address is always 20-bit in size, which is obtained by adding the content of offset register, that is base register or effective register, to the base register, that is a segment register, to generate a 20-bit address. Okay, so that's about register addressing mode. So what we have to remember here is, effective address is always stored in BX, BP, or DI, or SI. Okay, yeah. So next is based addressing mode. Okay, so let us understand what is this based addressing mode. In a based addressing mode, BX or BP is used. There is a base register or a base pointer is used to hold the base value for a effective address, and a signed 8-bit or unsigned 16-bit displacement will be specified in the instruction. Okay, so BX and BP uses holds the base value of the address for effective address calculation, and signed 8-bit or unsigned 16-bit displacement will be specified in the instruction. Okay, in case of 8-bit displacement, it is a sign extension, okay, to 16-bit before adding to the base value. Okay, so that is in case of 8-bit displacement, Okay, so it is sign extended. Okay, this I'll give an example. I'll show an example. So it is to so that it can convert into 16-bit value. When bx holds the base value of effective address, okay, 20-bit physical address is calculated from bx plus ds, that is data segment register, plus dx register. That is whenever ds is used, bx register is used by default. Okay, whereas when base pointer holds the base value, then base pointer and stack segment is used for the 20-bit address location. Yes, in other words, it's something like this. Let us say data is available in data segment. Then I use bx register. Then there is we have to use bx register. We are accessing stack memory. We have to use base pointer. That's how it's okay. So data segment access, 20-bit address is generated using data segment register and bx register. Stack segment memory access is done using stack segment register and base pointer register. Okay, this one example. One example here. Okay, so let us understand this example. I'm sorry. This one register in that address mode. Sorry, based. Sorry. Okay. Okay. Now let us take one example. Okay. AX is the destination. The source is copy is the source of data available in data segment register. Sorry, data segment memory, not register. Sorry, data segment memory, whose effective address is calculated using bx plus 08 data. Okay, 08 we are fine. Okay, so operations are like this. 08 is the say observe this. Uh, what is 08? This let me write in the notepad. This what is 08 by the way? 00001000. Yes, what is the size of this? Size of this data is 8 bit. 8 bit. Okay. What does the microcontroller does is it will extend the sign bit. Extend the sign bit. Yes, which is the sign bit among this data, guys? So this is LSB, this is MSB. MSB is always the sign bit. What does the microcontroller does is it will take this data. Okay. Now it will take the data and it will extend the sign bit. What is sign bit? 0. How does it extend? How many times it extends? It will extend so many number of times so that total size becomes 16 bit. That is 0000. What is the total size now, guys? 12 bit. So total it should be 16 bit. Again, it is repeated 0000 so that the sign bit is extended. The sign bit 0 is extended 8 times so that total size of the data now is equal to 16 bit. Total size of the data is now is equal to 16 bit. Let's assume that let us say sign bit was 1, for example. Sign bit was 1. Okay. So what is the sign extension, guys? Now sign bit is 1 in the 8-bit data. Then this sign extension should be 1. That is, it will be 1111 and 1111. So the total size of the data is 16 bit. Why it does so? Why, what is the significance of the sign bit? We'll understand. We'll discuss that also. Okay. So effective address calculation is base register plus 08. The 08 is extended to converted into 16 bit by sign extension, so that total size of the data now becomes 16 bit. It will add the content of bx plus this offset address sign after sign extension. Okay, and this result, that is which gives the effective address, that is our offset address, is added to the base address. Where the base address is available, guys? It is available in the data segment register, because we are accessing the data segment. So memory address, that is effective address, is equal to base address after conversion into 16 20 bit. There is, see, for example, let us say data segment. In this case, the data segment is not given. For example, let us say data segment is equal to let us say 1234H, for example, 1234H. Okay, this what is the microcontroller does to calculate the physical address. It will convert the data segment register content into by shifting towards left. There is shifting the content of data segment towards left. It will append 0. That is, it will become 12340H. Okay, to this it will add the content of BX, that is offset register. That is offset address. This offset address is calculated using the content of bx plus 0008h, so that the size of this becomes, what is the size now? Size is equal to, sorry, size is equal to 16 bit. Size is equal to 16 bit. Okay. So now what it does is, it will add 1 2 sorry, 1234 h plus whatever obtained from adding bx plus, sorry, bx plus 0008h. Okay. So the total size of this data will be 16 bit address. So total size will be 16 bit. Sorry guys, the total address size is 20 bit. Okay. So this is the basic purpose of adding, appending 0 and then adding, so that the effective physical address becomes, so this is the physical address. So the effective physical address now becomes 20 bit. Okay. Yeah. So the, from this memory address whose size is 20 bit, the data is copied into AX, that is 16 bit location, or if it is only 8 bit, it will be copied into EAL, and this address is incremented by 1. There is MA plus 1 means physical address is incremented by 1 and the content is added to EH. Okay, that means it is adding the lower byte first and then it will add the upper byte. Okay, if you are dealing with 8 bit, if we are dealing with 16 bit, it will add 16 bit data into AX register. Okay, so this is what is known as base addressing mode. Okay, so in the base addressing mode, depending on the memory used, for example, if you are using a data segment, bx register is used. If you are using stack segment, base pointer is used. Okay, so this is what is known as base addressing mode. Okay, next is indexed addressing mode. Okay, so what is this indexed addressing mode? So in this index, okay, so let us quickly try to finish up this index addressing mode. In this index addressing mode, stack, so sorry, source index and destination index registers are used to hold an index value for memory data, and signed 8-bit or unsigned 16-bit displacement will be specified in the instruction. Okay, displacement is added to the index value in SI or DA register to obtain the effective address. So in case of 8-bit displacement, it is sign extended to 16-bit before adding to the base value. Okay, guys, anyway, so this will discuss, guys, in the next class we'll discuss. The operation is similar to base index register, but source indexing is something different from base operation. So base operation is different, and the index operation is different. We'll discuss this. Okay, so we'll continue in the next class, and we'll continue from this addressing mode. Okay, you will understand the basic difference between what is known as indexing and base operation, base addressing operation. Yes, okay. Yes, thanks for joining. See you in the next class.